Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm back. As you probably know, I walk around, and when I'm at work or grocery shopping or something, I come up with a list that I keep in my phone or my special book of stories of things that happen. Now, this one's going to be aimed at my grandchildren because I bet their mama won't ever tell them. Now, growing up, I was taught how to fight, but I was also taught don't start the fight. Try to avoid the fight. But if you got to fight, you finish it. I taught the same thing to my children. Don't throw the first punch. Don't start it. But once it starts, finish it. Now, that doesn't mean that if your friend's getting into a fight, you jump in. Because your friend may be wrong. With that being said, after Hurricane Katrina came through, there were some less than reputable people that ended up in my daughter's school, Ashley. And there was one young fella that liked to go down the hall grabbing butts. And evidently my daughter was one of his favorite ones, and he walked down the hall grabbing butts. I told Ashley, behave. He's not exactly hitting you. She did warn him a couple of times, you grab me again, I'm going to knock the crap out of you. Except I think my daughter used a little bit more colorful words, if you catch my meaning. Now, as a proper parent, I knew physically and mentally my daughter was prepared for what she needed to do, but we tried to handle it other ways. Contacted some of the teachers. They said there was nothing they could do, especially these Hurricane Katrina kids. I said, there is, y'all just don't want to. I contacted dean of students. Pretty much got told the same thing. The vice principal, the principal, and the superintendent of all the schools. They all told me the same thing. There's really nothing we could do. So when that was the last answer I got, I waited a couple of days, see if anybody changed their mind, and they didn't. And every one of them I said, okay, when my child handles it, I don't want to hear nothing about it. They said, what do you say? Are you making threats? No, I ain't making no threats. I learned a long time ago, you don't make threats. People don't worry about threats. I made you a promise. My child knows how to handle herself, and she's going to handle it, and y'all aren't going to do anything to her because y'all are refusing to handle it because they're Hurricane Katrina kids. It took 2 or 3 days after that. I got a phone call while I was at work. My daughter handled it. Let me put it this way. When I was training her and teaching her, I had to have her ease up on me because she was causing bruises on this old man, and she wasn't even hitting me as hard as she could. I left work. I got to school. Found my daughter sending the principal, director of student relations or something at all. I said, Ashley, you okay? I'm all right, Dad. Let me see your knuckles. No marks. How many did it take? 1. All right, go on to school class. No, we're going to have to suspend your daughter. No, you're not. Go on to class, Ashley. No, she needs to sit right there. Child, what did I tell you? She stood up, looked at them. I respect y'all and I respect y'all's authority, but I'm more afraid of my daddy than I am y'all. I'm going to class. Then I said, you need to get anybody you need in here, and we're going to have a discussion. See, what they didn't know is in the great state of Texas, it's legal for one party to record another party and not tell them. And every phone call I had with these folks and every note I had notarized and mailed letters that had to be signed for. They didn't realize they were screwing themselves. And I gave them time limits to call me back, and I waited those time limits out. See, what they were upset about is this old boy, yeah, he was a Hurricane Katrina kid, but he was also on the football team. It was his senior year, and he had scholarships pending. And my daughter knocked him the one shot. They had to call an ambulance to come wake his ass up. He went to the hospital. I was never more proud of my daughter in my life. I knew she knew how to defend herself. She knocked him out. Unconscious. Now I proceeded to tell the family, the school, if any so much as any repercussions, anything happens to my daughter, if I feel for 1 second y'all are looking bad at her, or y'all looking at her cross-eyed, or if she gets a letter grade lower than what she should, I will sue y'all. My daughter has been being sexually harassed for over a month now. I have recordings of every conversation with this person, and they're all documented. What time, date, and what your responses were. You can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. State law says da-da-da-da-da. I showed them all the documentations where they signed for letters I had sent. I showed them where I spoke to a lawyer and said, by the way, I called him about 5 minutes from here. He's faxing over a lawsuit where I will sue this school, own this school, and the first thing I'm going to do is fire your sorry asses because my daughter's been being sexually harassed for over a month, and y'all told me there's nothing we can do. Nothing will happen to my daughter. I don't give a damn what you do to the boy. Because if my daughter sees him again, I told her this time knock teeth out. And he better spend more than 1 day in the hospital. And she gave him a love tap. She gave him, I'm getting your attention smack. Let's see how many scholarships Mr. Football gets. We're already getting calls from his parents. What do we do? Give him my phone number and address. Tell him to come by the house. Well, it looks like the school superintendent took me at my word, and he did give little old boy's daddy my address. I got a knock on the front door. He's roughly my size, about 6 foot, close to 300 pounds, a little bit smaller than me. He proceeded to get in my face, and I proceeded to back him down and tell him, we got a problem. We can handle it right here and now. And he started backing down because he realized I already had my fist clenched. I was ready to throw down. You don't screw with my daughters. I said, better yet, why don't that little boy of yours, Mr. Football Scholarship, and my Ashley settle this? See, the son told him it was another student named Ashley. Now, I called for my daughter, and I said, I tell you what, I got some gloves here. I'll have my kid put them on. That way yours don't get hurt so bad. But they can go in the backyard and solve this right now. He was all up for that until my little 5'4", maybe 110-pound daughter walks up, and I wrap my arms around her. And I said, and when my daughter knocks him out, because up until this point, he didn't realize it was a girl. When my daughter knocks him I'm going to contact every radio station, every college that boy's got a grant to or a scholarship, and I'm going to tell him that a 110-pound little 5'4" girl knocked out Mr. Football. Then I said, because this is a case of sexual harassment. When he realized that, the dad changed his attitude, changed his tone, and he proceeded to give that boy a concussion all the way to the car, and probably for the rest of the night. Because dad realized I was ready to kick his ass, his son's ass, and my daughter was ready. Don't mess with a Pendleton. We get even. Peace out.